EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi and welcome, everyone. It's about that time, the later half of January, when New Year's resolutions start falling apart, and people will make exceptions and explanations for their failure and what have you. What I'm after is for all of us to have a healthy way of eating with all the little things that make a difference. First of all, when we get clogged arteries as we get older and stuff, we've mentioned it many, many times that try not to eat processed foods like Doritos and corn chips and many other things. They even have cheese doodles, and they have, when I say processed, in order to be crispy and hold their shape, they have certain chemicals that make them look appealing and keep their shape until you eat and digest them. What I'm trying to do is keep away from the word processed foods, anything made that has to keep its shape. Now, potato chips, as we know them, that's not an issue. But ones that are Pringles, let's say, where every potato chip is exactly the same shape and bent in such a way that they're easily stackable, that's called processed foods. And that they're delicious tasting, the Pringles. I'm sure they have the right amount of salt and flavors and garlic powder and onion powder and everything else that they taste absolutely delicious. But they do have chemicals in them that make them keep their shape. So almost every potato chip in a Pringles tube is exactly the same shape and weight. And it's those chemicals that we want to get rid of. Not all the ingredients of Pringles, but the added chemicals that make it keep its shape. So what I do, instead of using margarine, which we now all know is a no-no, for a while everybody used it in place of butter 10, 20, 30 years ago, and maybe even now. But what I've converted to, anytime I need to saute onions or put vegetables in a casserole dish to oil the bottom, I never use any PAM spray. That is chemicals also. And I don't use any of the seeded oils like corn oil, sesame seed oil, none of those, canola oil. I only use olive oil, and I can use very, very small amounts, like just enough to cover the bottom of the casserole dish if you have to use an instrument or your finger to just spread a drop or two around the bottom of the dish. I don't use loads of it, but even when you're baking a roast in a pan, I'll put olive oil in the bottom, nothing else. And that really helps on reducing the amount of chemicals you eat. Now, I'm not foolish enough to know that many of the frozen vegetables, like Bird's Eye frozen vegetables, but even Publix frozen vegetables, for them, you have many situations where they have sauces included in the bag You can get them without sauces, plain spinach or spinach that's already creamed. You better watch the label closely to see what they have in making up these sauces that are added to a vegetable. When you make your sauce, you know what's in it. But when you don't read the label of containers, it's amazing how many chemicals are added to those vegetables. So be careful if you buy any vegetables with sauces included. Find out what those sauces really are. Now, also, in addition to keeping the amount of chemicals low, a lot of it is your timing. Like I said, when people come home, they've put in like a 10-hour day at least between sending their kids to school and then both parents going to work from 9 to 5 and then coming home. They often take an hour and have a drink. Well, if it's 2 or 4 ounces of wine or something, that probably doesn't do much harm that we're aware of yet. But if you have a full glass of, let's say, scotch on the rocks, bourbon on the rocks, any of those, whiskey on the rocks, any one of them, those are old-fashioned heavy alcohol. And you know alcohol has its place. If you've watched all these old cowboy movies and frontier movies, they almost, if they have a bullet in them, and even going back to before Louis Pasteur and penicillin, they would use alcohol to clean out a wound. Well, yes, the alcohol destroys bacteria, destroys many of the funguses. It will use alcohol to clean the instruments you use, since they didn't have sterilization machines, and it worked very well. Well, if alcohol does all that, when you eat it with food, alcohol's not going to know I'll destroy bad bacteria and fungus, but I won't destroy vitamins and minerals. Of course it will. Heavy amounts of alcohol, especially vodka drinks, that with a heavy amount of vodka and a little flavoring, that will destroy just about all the nutrients of anything you eat for the next 2 hours. And people don't think of that. And then I have some good friends of mine who've had that habit for years and years, and oh, they're healthy. They're putting money away for retirement. The kids are doing well. They really feel good. Then all of a sudden, overnight one day, they have a heart attack. How come? How come? Well, the timing of their eating habits, because they think they're eating healthy vegetables, and a salad with each meal, that's very filling and very nice, but it's not filling and nice when the alcohol destroys all the benefits from eating such foods. I'm not saying give up drinking, but I'm saying don't mix it a half hour before you, or even up to an hour before you eat a good, healthy meal. You have to know what you are doing. And most of the doctors don't even think of that at all. Even people who take vitamins, including those healthy, balanced ones that have all the fruits and vegetables, nutrients dried into them. If you go popping those vitamin pills and then have a heavy drink of alcohol at the same time, those vitamins won't do you a bit of good. They'll all be purified out and cleansed from the alcohol, which used to be used to clean out wounds even before iodine. It really works on getting rid of germs, but it also works on getting rid of vitamins and nutrients. So be careful when you have your alcohol, when you eat, and what you eat in addition, and when you eat it, which is what this session is all about. Timing is very, very, very important. And one bit of advice I have for those of you who do take vitamins, especially 3 or 4 pills of vitamins, not the multiple vitamin, but like B12 and even turmeric and vitamin E and vitamin C. If you're a person who does that, I recommend you take them in the morning when you have a cup of coffee, tea, even cocoa or water. You know that they will be absorbed in their entirety. If you take vitamins 10 minutes before dinner and you've already had alcoholic drinks, those vitamins are not going to be very nutrient for you. They're not going to be absorbed and keep their vitamin potency. So most people don't realize things like that. And Cindy, you brought up a very interesting point, which seems to be true. In the Generation Z and younger people, right now, a higher percentage of them are giving up alcohol.
Yeah.
But they're going for other highs, whether marijuana or marijuana products. And that's another story.
Yeah, not to get involved in that with this topic is, a lot of them are, that's what the, what do you call them, the mocktails are about. So many places now have mocktails. It kind of looks like a cocktail, so you think you're fitting in, or you look like you're fitting in with the cocktail group, but it's really seltzer and some other things, maybe fruit, vegetables, whatever, different syrups and that. And I always wonder about the sugar content with that too, but that's another subject matter too. I know one of the big drinks that a lot of people are doing now is they're enhancing different colas, root beers, vanilla sodas, stuff like that with syrups and stuff. And my first question was, what's your sugar content in that?
Because that syrup.
Yeah, well, from the syrup, but you're already adding it to, how many times did we ever say, not to beat up a cola or a root beer, how much sugar that actually has in it to begin with?
Before you even add the extras.
Correct. Yeah.
I will give you a very good example. When I was in elementary school and there was an old-fashioned soda fountain at the corner away from the school, we always went there before getting on the bus or subway to go home. And he had Coca-Cola from the fountain,
right? The syrup,
not already bottled,
right? The syrup,
and that is syrup also,
right?
And when I asked for a vanilla Coke, and he put a huge double squirt of vanilla into it, also, absolutely delicious. Yep. That sugar content must have been through the roof if anyone at that stage had diabetes.
Right.
But it was absolutely delicious, and there's no vanilla Coke in a bottle or anywhere that will taste as good as that.
Yeah.
But it is solid sugar.
You know what we used to do back then, and I'm getting a little bit off a topic, talking about the syrups and that, and getting away from the alcohol and the timing to eat your good vegetables and good food, is when you were sick and you could go to the pharmacy and get a little bottle, and it was only like 10 cents or 15 cents. I mean, I'm dating myself by saying that. And you had an upset stomach, or you had like the flu or nausea, you'd get a little bottle of Coke syrup from the pharmacist.
Yes.
And that would settle your stomach. It does.
Oh, better than cough syrup.
Well, I mean, if
It
you have
may
a
not
cold,
stop
for
the cough.
well,
but-
for cough, but I mean, I'm talking about nausea and stuff like that. My dad would go to the pharmacy and get a little bottle of Coke syrup to settle your stomach down.
yeah.
I don't know if it was the sugar or the cola or what it is. I mean, there's got to be a
But it
lot of
worked.
caffeine, but it worked. Yeah. And so we're getting back to the timing is everything when you do your vegetables and do your vitamins and stuff if you're going to have hard alcohol with it. Wine always seems to be presentable, if you will, but I never really thought about the alcohol, your hard liquors.
Yeah. And that makes a big difference. But when I cook, and I don't do it very often, I will once a year, like for someone's birthday, I'll bake a cake. Even instead of, I'll never use butter, lard, or anything to line the cake pans. I'll still use that olive oil in very, very small amounts.
Mm-hmm.
And that works beautifully. Nothing sticks to the bottom of the pan. So little things like that don't mean much from day to day, but after 20, 30, 40, 50 years of eating, it does make a difference. So keep that in mind for those of you who are starting families and growing out. Now is the time. The best example is one nephew that I have. In the afternoon when he comes home from school, Mom, I want a snack. Okay, here are a couple of carrots, and here are and here's a slice of watermelon, and he thinks that's fabulous. Mm-hmm. He has no desire for cookies, cakes, Twinkies, any of that stuff. And so now that he's so much older, he's not even, he doesn't even enjoy when he's tasted a Twinkie or something. Oh, no, it's not nearly that flavorful. I really don't care for it. And that makes a difference when at a young age, give them even celery in addition to a carrot. And they enjoy that, and it satisfies their appetite. You don't have to have sweets. You don't even have to have those bags of potato chips. You can have it once in a while as a treat. Well, we've got to take a good break now. Believe it or not, time flies. But I have a lot more information I want to give you about small things that really add up to be very, very healthy over the years. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
There's one Broadway musical critics are calling despicable, diabolical, unseemly, and, oh yes, ingenious. The New York Times calls it amongst the most inspiring musical in years. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Don't miss the bloody brilliant winner of the Tony Award for Best Musical and the new undisputed king of musical comedy. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. Now playing through February 1st at the Riverside Theater. Get tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
At Evergreen Media, we know the people, the businesses, and the work needed to take your marketing to the next level. We know where locals go to shop, work, and have fun.
We're here to focus on your local advertising so you can focus on your business. This is our home. This is our business. Evergreen Media. We market, you grow.
Are you opening a used car lot, pawn shop, a restaurant that will serve beer and wine? In the state of Florida, these and many other industries require a Level 2 live scan background check for clearance to work in your industry. A1A Fingerprints is your certified live scan source from Broward to Brevard. And if you're a medical provider, you need to be registered on the ACA web portal. A1A Fingerprints will help you navigate and comply with the law. Call 772-494-6556 or visit a1afingerprints.com. A1A Fingerprints.
Well, it's that time of year. It's time for the Vero Beach Prayer Breakfast. Charlie Kirk's close friend and pastor Rob McCoy will be joining us to share his crucial insights. Also speaking is English author and theologian Oz Guinness.
The Vero Beach Prayer Breakfast will be held Thursday, February 12th at the Indian River County Fairgrounds. Tickets are selling fast at verobeachprayerbreakfast.com. That's verobeachprayerbreakfast.com.
Hi, we're back. Hey, well, there are a few more things we need to really go over, and everyone should start these little habits which will end up making you much, much healthier. A good example is the vitamins you do take. Instead of rushing out of the house in the morning, take the vitamins in the morning when you either have milk, coffee, orange juice, things like that that will not interfere with your vitamin digestion. And you have all day for them to circulate around your body where you feel a little more exuberant, stronger, and alert than when you take them at night, when you really want to start relaxing and piping down, let's say, and as you get ready for bed later in the evening. So make the vitamins and what you eat and don't eat fit your habits. And the biggest thing for those of you who don't want to gain weight, no matter what age you are, don't eat at night anything after 8 o'clock, because your stomach will digest it, but after 8 o'clock at night, that gets sleepy for the day too. So guess what? They convert everything you eat, even healthier foods, into fat instead of keeping them as roughage, nice vegetables, nice vitamins, nice nutrients, even the healthier sugars that you find in many fruits and vegetables. Your body will want to convert everything to fat because it's easier, it's quicker, because it's time for your digestive system to go to bed too. And most people don't realize that. You eat something after 8 o'clock at night, like 5 or 6 cookies, it's going to have the full amount of calories, where if you eat those 4 or 5 cookies at lunchtime and do work around the house and just normal shopping and what have you, you will not get anywhere near the calories from those cookies that you would if you eat them at night. So just changing habits, you can control your sweet tooth, you control your urges and desires. That's very, very important. So also keep in mind that exercise will help you initially. Exercise will help you reduce calories, but when you exercise heavily, that may get rid of your stomach with the right exercises, or what I call your stomach, the big pouch. But you will gain the weight in your hips and your arms where you're exercising. So for girls, think about what exercising you want to do and what you don't want to do. And on that note, we're going to wish you a very happy week. And call us with any questions you may have. It's right on the screen. Have a good one.